How panicked would you be if you had money in the bank and could not get to it, all because the bank said your account was closed? That was one woman's ordeal, and it went on for months. Now, only on to our efforts to help this mom and grade school teacher. For 17 years, Christina Blanton was a loyal Bank of America customer without a problem.
Has ever had anything like this happen before?
No.
Until April, when the South Suburban mother and grade school teacher suddenly could not get into her account.
I went to log on to my online banking and it kept saying account locked. And so I thought I entered my password incorrectly.
No success online, so she called Bank of America's 800 number repeatedly, including this one call that lasted nearly 2 hours. For months, she got the runaround.
I was like transferred to multiple people and then finally spoke to them. And the young lady said, we decided to close your account.
With no adequate explanation, she says. A business decision, the bank told her. What's worse, Blanton could not get her money.
And what was your reaction to this?
I was upset. I was frustrated. It was right before me getting ready to have the surgery. And to not be able to access your money, emotionally, I wanted to cry, but I didn't. I just been dealing with it, and this has been since April.
The surgery she mentioned, it was for thyroid cancer. A difficult time all around.
I wasn't getting anywhere.
So Christina Blanton reached out to us for help. We contacted Bank of America. The response from a bank spokeswoman was vague. We can't share information about an individual account for reasons of privacy, but have resolved the issue directly with our customer.
Okay, so we're happy to say the news is better.
A lot better.
Right after we contacted Bank of America, she got a call from a higher up at the bank.
She apologized first and stated that they decided to reevaluate my situation and to open my account back up.
Christina Blanton now has her money, but she still doesn't know why her account was closed, and the anger remains.
This is simply a corporate issue where someone should be taking the time out to at least give a person the respect. How do you cut off someone's money and then proceed to tell them you can't tell them why you cut their money off? And what if it is their last? Then they're just broke with nothing, and that is unfair practice to anyone.
Guys, these banks are tripping. As you've seen in the video, it's been a lot of cases where people are getting their bank accounts closed randomly. You don't have to do anything wrong. You don't have to do any scamming or fraudulent things to get your bank account closed. And this is happening all over the world. In today's video, I'm going to explain to you why that can potentially be and what you can do to not get your bank account closed. Guys, stay tuned. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, I'm Credit Coach Q, and I create the first cloud-based software that allows you to put your credit repair expense into your own hands. If you're new to the channel, I'm super excited because I have a banger. In today's video, we're going to talk about banks and why they're closing. But before we get into the video, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. It allows YouTube to push us within a wider audience. Also allows YouTube to push us within an algorithm and allows us to leave these lights on. Guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have anything derogatory in your credit report, I mean anything negative, charge-offs, late payments, bankruptcies, medical bills, guys, you name it, please go over to creditapprove.com. It's the website and the software that I was telling you about that allows you to put the full experience to your own hands. Guys, people are removing thousands of dollars worth of debt by themselves. They are no longer using credit repair companies. They are putting this information and this experience into their own hands and appreciating on a deeper level. Guys, please go to creditapprove.com, check out the software and start removing these items, guys, if you have anything derogatory on your credit report. Now let's dive straight into the meat meat and potatoes of this video. Now, guys, I want to dive straight in because these cases are serious and are completely random and quite frankly are pretty scary. If you have a bank account that's tied to your main source of finances and they just randomly close the account, this can lead to a trickle effect when it comes to not only your finances and your bills, but also your credit score and your lifestyle in general. So guys, this is very serious. So as you see in the video, my young lady got her bank account closed while she was going to surgery. She was going to surgery for thyroid cancer, and when she went to her bank account or her card to pay for the surgery, the account was closed. That's pretty scary. You're going into surgery, it's already a scary situation, and then when it's time for you to pay the requirement, your bank account is frozen, closed, or anything like that. That's pretty scary. But guys, in all actuality, I've already explained that this may potentially happen in the near future. A couple months ago, I talked about the banks and the liquidity crisis that we are currently in. Now, for those who don't know, it is something that the bank have to go by, which is called a fractional reserve currency. So your fractional reserve currency is basically the amount of currency that the bank had to have for every dollar that a consumer deposits. So prior to COVID-19, the fractional reserve currency, I think, was 10%, meaning that for every $100 that you had deposited in your bank account, they only had to have $10 available of that currency. Now, ever since COVID happened and the COVID relief have come in, they have changed the fractional reserve currency for banks. The fractional reserve currency for banks now is 0%. This means that for every dollar that you have in a bank, they only have to have $0. They don't have to have any cash in the bank. That means that the bank can literally take your money and not have the cash deposit reserves required to keep and give the consumers their money. So that basically means that your money is not safe. And I talked about this a few months ago, and it's really starting to hit the globe tremendously now. So I definitely want to break that down. Fractional reserve currency is 0%. So the banks don't have to legally have any capital on tap. And quite frankly, it is a liquidity crisis. It's going over all over the world. I know that they are doing a lot of bank runs in China, and a bank run is basically when a lot of people realize what's happening, they run to the bank to get their money out. And a lot of times when that happens, they don't have the capital or the liquidity to match all of the consumers' deposits or withdrawal asks. So a lot of people go to the bank and they can't get their money out. I think I seen a story from China where a guy had $6 million in the bank account and he couldn't have no access. They literally had tanks outside the bank, and it was a pretty scary situation. Now, that's not the case with a lot of these bank account closing, but it is the case for banks acting unorthodox when it comes to how they appropriate our funds. Now, I think that this is going to be a trickling and domino effect for the next couple months. I think that the liquidity that the banks really are supposed to have is not there. I think that the bubble is going to burst when it comes to the liquidity that is necessary for these accounts. And I think that the banks are going to have poop in their hand when it comes to these accounts. Now, guys, I want you to take a look at another story from a person that's not in the United States that had a similar issue.
They closed my account on the 3rd of October, and it took them 3 weeks to issue a check, which I paid in on the 20th of October. And I've waited and waited for the check to clear, and now I've spoken to Barclays and it's been reversed. They reversed the check, and it's for £60,000. Such a lot of money, and it's all the money that I've made. And I'm just so angry, and I didn't know whether to go on here and say about it. I don't know what to do.
As you can see, it was a woman from Australia or somewhere from Europe, and she's from somewhere, I don't know where she was from, but she basically couldn't get her funds out the account. They attempted to close her account, and basically it's similar to the same scenario that the young lady had in the States. And this is a totally different bank in a totally different country, and they dealing with the same exact problems, guys. And I think that honestly is from the fractional reserve currency. Now, how can you combat this? How can you combat the fact that you don't have the currency that's needed in order to put yourself in a position to get the capital out of the bank. You have multiple banks. Have multiple banks, guys. This is going to give you an edge when it comes to any type of uncertainty when it comes to your account. It's going to give you a lot more probability from other banks where you can transfer and have a different option than just one option with your particular main bank. Now, I know most consumers don't have more than one bank, but with these instances that's going on, I think that is something to definitely consider, because it's not going to be a situation where you're going to have a chance to get another bank after, or if this situation happens to you. If it happens to you and they decide to close your account, yes, you can open up an investigation to get the account reopened, possibly, but during that stagnation of your funds not being able to be moved and frozen, it can put a lot of consumers in a position where they're not going to be able to pay their traditional bills on that month basis. Now, I do know that consumers average don't have no more than $500 in their bank account. So if you do, or if you are living check to check, please consider other options. Another option can be cash. I know cash in the dollar is falling, but having cash on tap if a situation happens can be a lifesaver. And guys, I never want you to be put in a position of being caught with your pants down because you can't pay traditional bills. So guys, yes, I think that this is very interesting. I think this is one of many cases that is going to happen in the next couple months here. Like I said, I talked about it probably 6-7 months ago about what was going to happen now. And I think that this now is the beginning of a long situation where I feel like the liquidity on this global financial system is going to crash. Guys, please be careful when it comes to prioritizing your bank. Please be careful when it comes to prioritizing where you keep your funding, and make sure that you stay safe. Have more options and have more cash on tap, guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. If you have had a situation similar to this, let us know how you think is going to, what you think is going to happen in the near future. Do you think this is going to level over? Do you think that this is going to be an ongoing thing? Guys, let us know in the comments. But until next time, take care of yourself and take care of your credit. Credit Coach Q out.